Hey, welcome back to the halfway point of this course. Today officially marks the starting of session, where are we, 9, which is now we're halfway through. We're starting halfway through. Things are going to change. Things are changing at this point. Some different things we're going to do. Okay, one new thing we're going to do, but some other things we're not going to do anymore. We've done 4 weeks, 8 sessions of kind of the similar. We are now switching from elements of design to principles of design. We are adding in a extended project. Actually, there'll be 2 extended projects, which you will be working on over the next 4 weeks alternately. And that's always fun. This is like kind of starting to bring together all the stuff you're learning. Get to do 2 big projects. Start to add to that what we call a portfolio. Today's lecture is on balance. I'm also going to give a very quick lecture on serif versus sans serif typography in case you are not in the type class yet and do not know what that means. But we'll get you squared away on that, no problem at all. I think what I'm going to do is we're going to jump around a bit, and I'll talk about these 2 items, and then we're going to do balance, and I'm going to end on Project A, Part 1. It's all going to be fun. No worries. All right, let's jump in. All right, quick design challenge. Again, 5 questions, graphic design based. You are allowed to use the internet, whatever means possible, and we just hit continue. What is leading in typography? What is leading in typography? That is the line spacing. I got 20 points. All right, so continue on, do those, and you'll have fun. Hierarchy. This is actually one of the principles of design. Hierarchy talks about the order in which we want the client or consumer or audience of our piece to read. What can we do to make that person see certain things first, second, third, fourth? It is very important. You don't want just like it to look like what we call a white paper, where it's all the same text, the same size, in which it's information only. We are better than that. We're going to use hierarchy. We're going to have bold, and we're going to do big, and then we're going to do small. And that's what hierarchy is all about. And this will come into play on both of your big assignments, which we'll talk about afterwards. Boy, that was quick, because I don't have to go through the setup. You guys now know how to use those programs. So let's jump into balance. Now, balance is one of our principles of design. Look at that. Notice something different? It reversed. Section 2. And as we jump in, we'll be doing balance, emphasis and focal point, contrast, movement, pattern and repetition, proportion, unity and harmony, and variety. All of these are parts that go into the thought process when designing a piece. All of these together, sort of working in tandem in different ways, create gestalt, a comprehensive piece that when everything works together in unison, that is gestalt. So now what we're doing is those elements that we talked about for the first half of the course, those are now being placed into designs, and now you're going to arrange them using balance. You're going to use emphasis and focal point. You're going to use contrast. Like all of these then are how you work with those elements that we learned about earlier. Pretty bad stuff. Let's switch over. Exciting stuff. So balance. Zoom in. Get to talking. All right. Balance is the fundamental principle of design that refers to the distribution of visual weight in a composition. But what I don't want, and we'll talk about this, but like that first thing that we all think of is like centered balance. Everything's in the middle and it is balanced. Well, that's not true, because there's balance, but you can have like asymmetrical balance, you can have radial balance, and that balance that we think of, like maybe the down and dirty straight down the middle idea, doesn't always mean that's the only way to create balance in a design. So it is a little bit how we talk about it, how we push it, how you use things to create different views of a piece. And I'll go over this and we'll play around, but let's get to drawing. And we'll show this in the other ones. Symmetrical balance. This is what I have you all do when you make those like charts. And I'm like, pull a guide. So we have one. So this is almost like 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B. So this is symmetrically balanced. What happens here, happens, like, so no matter what, like it's very clean, clear, mirrored images. Like if I have a circle over here as a design element, I put a circle over here as a design element. That's symmetrically balanced. I have a square here and I have a square here, symmetrically balanced. You can, well, I'll get fancy. We can state, I won't draw those lines. If I have a circle here and a square here, and then a circle here and a square here, this is symmetrically balanced as well. It's an object, an object, an object, and an object. The objects can be different. They don't have to be identical. So you can push that. You would have, say we are designing a piece and we had a picture of a person, and then I had a block of text. This becomes symmetrically balanced, even though what you're seeing is completely different. The spacing and everything is exact. And if I were to pull a mirror, you would see that like, oh, even though it's a different shape, the weight, the visual weight of the picture and the visual weight of the text box are equal. And so it is symmetrically balanced. Asymmetrical balance. This is where things get interesting. This is where you really can guide the eye. This is where the designs look far more interesting and just way better. So I know, way better. Huh? What does that mean? Like, so asymmetrical design would be like if I put like a header here and then something here and then some body, like body copy up there. So it's like you follow a pattern with your eye, but it's nothing is mirrored. I'm setting things aside and pushing, importance over here and less important over here, and like moving that and then making it does make in the end a far more interesting design when you use asymmetrical balance. I don't know if it's harder. I mean, I will say like this can just end up being simple and boring, but well done. It doesn't have to be boring, but doing small changes to a symmetrical design could make it asymmetrical, which could then make it more interesting. I hope that makes sense. What were we talking about? There was something else we were talking about in this course. Asymmetrical balance. I was talking with a student about something. I digress because I can't remember. But cool stuff. Like, so asymmetrical, pretty rad. It offsets things. It makes it more interesting. It's very funny. And then there's radial. Radial balance is just, using from center point out or out, and it doesn't have to be a circle. Even though it's radial, it does not need to be a circle like a wheel. You can have a rectangle design and like have it spill out where you have like main information here and little bits of information here, and it is still a radial design, and in which your focal point may reside in the middle, or maybe your focal point is all on the outside, and then you have like smaller information in the middle, and you could call that a radial balance going in. I can't say I use this very much, but I have some cool examples. I think they're cool. All right. This is just continuing that. So to achieve the balance, you are working with, now we are working with our elements, right? Color, shape, size, and texture all start to take place now. Now we're thinking like, if I put this color here, if I have a bold green text at the top, how can I balance that with something else green on the page, but maybe not draw attention to it, but use something to help like balance the composition. It's like I love to say this thing, we work in threes. Design works best in threes. So a lot of it, so if you have like a composition and I put something big up here in red, let's say red because I have red pen. But then if I put like, maybe I put a little red here and another little red here. What I'm doing with this color is I'm balancing the composition. So I have a main focus here, and then I go to here, and I go to here. So that's how we end up balancing it. And we're using color to balance. And even though it's not 3 big bars of red, it will become balanced. And I like to work in threes with that. That just helps the eye, also guides the eye around. And we'll talk about that in a future event. We have to worry about visual weight of elements now, like I just talked to, right? Like right here, that visual weight, where is that put? Do we have a secondary point to that visual weight? How are we balancing out that visual weight? If we have a piece and I have a giant header up here and it draws your eye, and then I just have some information. Well, what would I do is then maybe I could add a photograph at the bottom, and then that adds visual weight. And so then that becomes a symmetrical visual weight. But even though one is typography and one is a photo, they're still going to visually balance each other. So that's where, again, we get a little crazy with this. Contrast, again, balancing contrasting elements, helps with the design, adds visual interest, and then spatial arrangement. Placement of the object in relation to each other. Do I know why I'm placing this piece here, this element here, and this element here, and this element here? How does that reflect on the whole piece? Am I just like, oh, it fits? That should never be. Why did you put that there? It fits. That shouldn't be like, you should like rearrange, work with your design. This is where that creativity and super thinking power that us creatives have of being like, oh, I don't have to just do it because it fits. I can look at this arrangement and I can say, what if I change the focal point of this element, change it somehow, and then it allows me to adjust my spatial arrangement in a different way that will get me to where I want to be with balancing the design. I think that was pretty heady. I'm sorry, but we'll get through it. All right. Let's look at some of these. This one, Titanic. So just whatever. All right. Right down the middle. Then we can get, like I can get really into this. Like, okay, so the guy is on one side, and it's also the shadow side of the ship. the girl's on the right side and she's on the lit side, like the highlight side of the ship. Everything is broken down, like straight down the middle. But this is also in reference to old time touring posters back from the fort, back when the Titanic was around. They'd have these beautiful Art Deco posters, and it would always, like, there was a big time when, like, they would just show like the big front of the bow of the ship, and it'd be like, visit so and so, and you just see this monster ship. So that's where this is coming from. But if you look, dead center, we have the dark side, we have the light side, it's mirrored, we get it. It is what it is. Like this is where it's like, oh yeah, that's kind of boring. This piece, well, sure didn't want to do that, is also symmetrical, but it's broken up differently into different arrangements that is both symmetrical and I'll say asymmetrical. If we look at it, it's a website. So we have a header, then we have a visual weight, and then we have information. And then if we look at that further, the visual information coincides with an image, up here. The weight of these images, though heavy, is balanced with the amount of information down here. If you just had like 3 lines of text and then a big open white space, this wouldn't look right. Like it wouldn't look the same, and it would maybe seem balanced, and then you'd be like, but this is all empty down here. So they balanced it, even though this is small, but it carries a lot of visual weight. The text then coincides, and it's bigger, but carries the same visual weight. And then it's still to me a symmetrical design because it is 3 equal spaces going down. So we can break it up. Even odd can be this, or let's say this can be asymmetrical and symmetrical at the same time. Spiral, radial. What do we got? Focal point. Right here. The and is the most important part. Why? Because we are now joining a person and a person, and they are becoming one. So the and is an emphasis part. Radiating out, we have a name and a name. Radiating out, we have a date and a time. If we look at the text on here, we have small text here, we have small text here, pushed up to create maybe the only asymmetrical part of the design is the introduction. But it's all radiating out. And it's obvious. I purposely picked an obvious one for this one. Because it's a little fun. What is this, a coaster? I think it's a coaster used at a wedding. It is what it is. It's pretty cool. But it all radiates out from that center point, but creates a very good balance. This is like super balance. Like the names are done. Super balance. Oh, that Peterson is way off. Oh, I don't like that at all. I think they tried to get it in, but then this N needed to be pushed out. I've been using this one for over a year, and I'm just noticing that now. I mean, I only see it twice a year. All right. Asymmetrical. We got our asymmetrical. Here it is. Super cool. This one is where, like, there's tricks and things that make you read it and look at it. And we start with the fun is like this eyeball is pointing to here. And so I'm going to look where the cat is going to look, and I'm going to start to read down. And then I keep reading down, And then I get into this spot here, and this is a continuous shape, which makes my eye follow this shape and then circle around again and come back to the top. Sure, I'll look over here and I'm going to look at the cool design, but then again, my eyes are wrapped to where the eyes are looking. I come back to here and I read this, I head down and I follow the tail back up again. This is why asymmetrical design is so cool, and like why I love it is that you can really start to guide the eye in different ways instead of it just being straight down the middle, one thing, you know, broken up into 4 spaces, boring stuff. This is all built around how do we see and how do we move around and work with the, you know, design. It's beautiful. Our final piece for the day. This one. Big center. In the center, we have our title. All the other information is down here. We have another point with some information up here. We have lines cutting through to help break up that sense. We have a gray circle off balance with what I'll call a centered. It's pretty damn centered. And then we have hiding in the corner. Let's see. What do we do? 1, 2, 3. Working in threes. Now we have an orange circle, 1, and then we have titles in orange, 2, and mini titles, 3. Asymmetrical. Then I love that this line coming in from the side, even though this is pretty dead center, makes it feel like it's pulling it to the right to help with that. Oh, this line comes up here. It's up there too. So I'll do some of those crazy lines so you can see that again. How that's working together. It's a swoop, 1, 2, 3. Again, we come to here, the biggest area, and then it's 1, 2, 3. And even though things are centered like this line pulls us to the right. This line pulls us this way. It's all done. It's super cool. I love this design as well. So cool. Any questions, comments, or concerns about balance as your first principle of design? All right, let's keep trucking. Balance research. I am not going to build this one for you. You are now on your own. All of the instructions are here. You have used Illustrator before. You have set up an Illustrator document in this size already. You are now on your own to do it. It is the same assignment. You do the same process. Everything is just follow along. If you get stuck, if you need help, if you need any assistance, you got to reach out to me and let me know. I can't reach out to you because I don't know where you're at. You know, well, I know where you're at, but I can't. This is my call for help. Do you need help? I am around. If you're stuck, don't be shy. If you don't know what's going on, let's talk sometime. This is my engagement with you. I'm always around. Take it as you wish. So we know what to do. I don't need to go over this anymore. It's going to speed up our lectures a little bit. So sorry about the zooming. So, you know, I want to balance book cover. I want to balance movie poster. I want to balance album cover. I'm going to be looking at these. I want both files. All right. I need to check it. I need to check your file. Upload your working file and PDF. That's what I was looking for. I'm going to check them. I open each one. Oh, you got this right. Oh, you got the right. Like we got to get that document building down pat. It's very important to know how to do it because if you don't, you can't get hired anywhere. They'd be like, build a document and you make it wrong. And they're going to be like, oh, crud, that's step one. Building a document. Can't do that. You know how to build documents. I've taught you how. If you have forgotten, every lesson, even though they're closed, is available online. All right. I'm going to jump to sans serif versus serif font, and that's for your project. Ooh, we're starting to deal with typography now. This is super simple, but not everybody knows it. And this is two words that you need to know for the rest of your graphic design career. It is just spouted all the time. And even the layperson knows these words. It's used so much now that computers are around. Back before even when I was starting 30 years ago in college or whatever, this was like serif and sans serif. The layperson didn't know what that meant. People who were in the industry kind of knew what it meant. But now that computers are out and everybody knows kind of like what a serif is and a sans serif is. Let's talk about a serif. A serif is these little parts on the letter. Sorry, let me move that. I didn't think I was going to draw. A serif is the foot. It's this little ligature. It's the little fancy parts of a letter. If you go through, they have like little feet. They have these little C's, got those little things. Serif fonts have small lines or strokes. Serifs attached to the ends of the main strokes of the characters. This comes kind of a little bit from using calligraphy and the way people used to write, and when they come down and they would swoop, or they would start a letter and come down, because with pulling with pens, you had to kind of engage the pen. Just pulling straight didn't work. All this reason of why. All of this, the sans serif stems from hand lettering, just back in the ages. And you'll learn about that in the history of design class. Common sans serif fonts, just this one, Times New Roman. Everybody knows it. It comes up on every computer. Times New Roman, Times, or just Times. Great, serif. Sans serif. Sans is French for without. I keep saying that. I'm pretty damn sure that's what it means. But it's sans is without. Oh yeah, you get fancy and you go to the restaurant. Hey, I want my burger sans lettuce. No lettuce. No serif. That's all it means. So you have a serif, which is you could just call common type, and then sans serif, which means they have removed that. Usually sans serif, they have beautiful, like just beautiful lettering, but like they're bold is where like they live. Like bold sans serif type, easy to read. That's what's on all of the signage that you see when you're driving around the city. Sans serif. It's easy to glance at, easy to read, and the usage is however you want it, but just as a Western culture, we generally, I would say, like serif is a little bit fancier, sans serif is a little bit down to earth. I don't know, best way to put it. That's the best way. Why do we need to know this? Well, you need to know it for your balance project. I want you to do 6 compositions, balanced and unbalanced, using only typography. What? Only typography. So this is my example for you. You can use this font. You can use whatever font you want. You must use a sans serif on the top and a serif on the bottom. The top must only be balanced designs. The bottom must only be asymmetrical designs. These are the words you are to use. This is balanced. This is balanced. This is balanced. This is asymmetrical. This is asymmetrical. This is asymmetrical. 3 words per box using, again, upstairs ones. It's a sans serif font. Play around. You know how to put a type in. Use your point type, or you just click, type this, click again, type is, click again, type balance. This is how you do it. Your artwork here, pink. I click on this. I tap once, and I type this. However you may want to do it. Be creative. Please don't just use Myriad Pro. If you can't get beyond just using Myriad Pro, maybe graphic design and the creative experience isn't for you. When you can click down and see thousands of choices, and if that doesn't excite you, you're in the wrong industry. This should excite you. Look at this. Look. Let's go. Let's find us a weird one. Afram. Look at us. This. And then I type again. Then you know what I can do? Because I have that, you can just simply copy and paste. And then type is however you want. You want a capital, uncapital. I'm just going to delete that. And then copy paste. So I don't have to go do that all again. And I want Bal, and then however you want to do it. I'm not going to do one because I don't want to give you anything. I'm just showing you quick tips. Then you can just copy and paste this. Don't use these again. Make sure you turn off my examples and you do your own. And then you can just, grab this stuff for the asymmetrical one. Jump on in. What's an asymmetrical? Let's tap it away. Type of this. Let's make it big. Always hold down shift. Please never not do that with shift. Let's find a weirdo. Let's Libre. Oh, I can find a big bold italic. Look at that serif font. Beauty. And then just do that same thing. Copy paste. Take off. Delete. And then asymmetrical. Make an asymmetrical design. 3 words per box. Proper font style. Proper kind of design style. Balanced and asymmetrical. Or unbalanced for the lay person. We use asymmetrical. It sounds cooler. Any questions, comments, or concerns about this project? Again, you know how to reach out to me. You know how to let me know what you need. I'm around. You just use that message board, right? That's the best way right now. Just click on that. I get it. I'll make sure you get it. All right. New project, new design. Oh, Project A Part 1, template research and thumbs. Thumbs, abbreviation for thumbnails. We will be creating a poster for a music festival of your choice. How cool is that? Let's go through step by step of what you're going to do in the process. Now, I'm going to be taking you over the next 4 weeks through the design process. We as designers never just jump in and start designing. You need to do research. You need to gather your assets. You need to figure out your design elements. You need to do your thumbnails to practice what you want to do before you do it. But why is that, Joel? If you don't, one, clients usually want to see a variety of examples of what you could give them for an assignment. The general working term is not term, but general working is you usually show a minimum of 3 varieties to the client, and then they pick the one they like best, and then you move in that direction. How do you show them that? You show them, actually what would be in the next version is the rough sketches. You're going to do thumbnails to get your ideas flowing, and then you're going to create the rough sketches, which is a refined version, but we'll get to that later. I'm just going to open up Photoshop so I can draw. All right. Step 1, create a working presentation template. The presentation template must be 16 by 9. This presentation template will be used for the entire project. Simple. You can use whatever you want. This is like just a baseline project A research and thumbs. And this is just gives you a starting point. All right. Just to look through it so you kind of have an idea of what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to build it. You are going to build on this. It can be whatever program you want to use. I am not specifying that you need to use a Illustrator, InDesign. For this, it is asset gathering, and then you are be placing in your work. And this is like the story of your design. All right. So that's what that is. So you can follow the simple template provided to make sure that you create all the necessary pages, base pages for your presentation. You might be adding pages, you might be removing pages. It is up to you. As you go along, you may be like, I'm going to do even more stuff, and that would be awesome. So create the presentation. That's step 1. It's easy peasy. It's about 15 minutes. It should take you 15 minutes. Just find a presentation template. I'm fine with that for this because I want you to discover a music festival that you would like to work on. It can be any music festival from anywhere in the world, but it must be real. It must have happened. I have to do this sometimes. The definition of a music festival for me is a festival in which more than one music artist is featured during the day or days of the event. A single concert by one person with a opener does not count as a music festival. That is just a single person rocking the rave, and it's JoJo, and he is the headliner, and for the opener it's the Slap Bellies. And then, so that's not a festival. That's just a single person. I'm festival. This is food, craziness. Think Summerfest, 7 days. You know, Summerfest used to be 11 straight days of music. Festival. Anyone you want, any music genre, anywhere in the world, but it must be real. Now you're going to gather assets from the internet. And this is easy. Like, so Summerfest. I'm going to go to Summerfest. Well, there's a logo. I got their logo. You can copy and paste that. You can right click on it. You can also type in a search bar, Summerfest logo. And what do? We use the same tools as we do. We go to images, and we go to tools, and we go to size, and we go large. Again, we don't want to be taking no tiny pixelated logos. We want large and in charge. Look at this one, over 1,000. This would be great if you're doing Summerfest. Perfect. Easy. Find the logo. Find a minimum of 3 pictures from the festival. Again, make sure they are high res. Well, I go to this, and I can see pictures. You know, got some people here, people there, or Not for a second. I was like, do I know that person? You can type in Summerfest Festival images. Well, there we go. Hundreds of images to choose from. Go crazy. 3 high res. Again, more, not more. Images, tools, size, large. Make sure they are large, that when you click on it, it's over 1,000 on one direction. A paragraph about the music festival. You don't got to type it. Go to the info or about page. If I just click on Summerfest and I scroll down, somewhere on this website, it's going to say what it is. Let's see, line info. Experience? I got food and beverage, experiences, activities, lineup, stated. You'll find it. Dig around. You will find information. You can Google information. Actually, sometimes if you just do that straight up Google search, you get what is Summerfest Music Festival. Mind you, I do not want you to just do Summerfest because I'm doing it. Be creative. What's your favorite music genre? Jazz, punk, country, emo, death metal. I don't care what it is. Find a festival. Like right here, Summerfest is annual music festival. You know, you can kind of use that. It's great content. 3 of the music festival headliners. Who's headlining? Again, if I go to here, the lineup, Garth Brooks, Ed Sheeran, and Post Malone. Done. Dude, Garth Brooks played 2 days? Wow. Huh. I didn't know that. He played 2 days, but Posty only played 1, and Ed only did 1? I think he's pretty popular. I don't know. I don't know their music, but I just feel like he's kind of, I don't know. Enough on that, hey? And then the music festival dates. Of course, we need to know when this is, and you can find that upcoming shows. You can find the dates. It'll be on this main page. Like, when is it? And it's these dates. So all the information is available for every music festival somewhere on the internet. Please find that. So we need a page, and I'm gonna show you some stuff. The final part, 6 thumbnail sketches for your music festival poster. The final size of the poster will be 24. And I thought Summerfest. Oh, wait. I ruined it for somebody. You can still do Summerfest. Yeah, you can still do Summerfest. I do it just because it's local, and it's, to me, generic. I mean, there's some like Vans Warped Tour. Like, there's so many crazy ones. But if you're a Summerfest lover, I used to be a Summerfest lover. I used to go all the time. You can do it. No worries. All right. The final size of the poster is 24 inches wide by 36 inches tall. All right. Make sure you note that. I sometimes get drawings that are square. I sometimes get drawings that are wide. There is this is going in certain places, and the client has requested 24 by 36. So just don't mix stuff up. This, if you're like, but how do I make sure that 2 by 3 inches? You know, like, I'll show you. Like, what you can do is, because you're all home, you have your laptop, you find a piece of paper, you open up Illustrator, you go to New, and you type in 24 by 36. Okay, it's already in there from something else. And you hit create, and then you zoom out, because it's only got to be like this big. And then you put a piece of paper on your laptop, on your screen, and very lightly with a pen, you just draw that square. And you'll be at the right proportion. Your laptop screen, with being very delicate, can be used as a light box. It's called a light box. So do that. That's how you get it. And we need 6. I will show you examples. Don't be like, oh my God, I have to do 6 drawings. No, a thumbnail is a quick sketch to get ideas out on the paper without a lot of detail. The detail comes next. And then we're only gonna take 3 of the 6 thumbnails, and then we're gonna redraw those, but neater, nicer, and more detail. And then that will be the base into which you will create your design. You will take that final drawing, place it into Illustrator, and then start to put all your elements that you have gathered into the program. Again, step by step over the next 4 weeks, you will understand this. All right, let's rock the Rockfest. This past student chose Rockfest. They have the Rock Festival logo. They have festival images. They have an about for the festival. They have included the headliners for the festival, the dates of the festival, and then their sketches. This is the sketch. The date goes up here. I'm going to have a picture of the headliner 1, headliner 2, headliner 3. I want the logo to go here, a rock hand going here. These X's in boxes are visual representations of pictures. That's how we do it in the industry. You draw, like, I want a picture here, and you put an X in it from corner to corner. That indicates an image is going to be placed in that box. You just learned something great. And then here, these squiggly lines, that's the about. I know that because there, and then so of the 5 things, right? We go back here. 5 items. Every item is date 1, headliners 2, logo 3, festival images 4, about 5. All 5 items must be represented in your sketch. Here's another one. It's a guitar, logo 1, headliner 1, 2, and 3. There's 2. 3 pictures, 1, 2, 3. There's 3. They forgot to write in the date. I'm seeing they forgot to add date, and then the about. I think these smaller lines were the dates. That's why they had longer lines as about, shorter lines as date. Easy peasy. This isn't like, we're not asking you to be Michelangelo and like sketch the Vitruvian Man. It's like, this is just like, get your idea out on a page. Here it is. We got some flames. Logo, headliner, date, pictures, about. See how easy this is? Logo, date, a crowd of people. Great. They didn't have to draw the crowd of people. They just wrote in. There's going to be a crowd of people right here. Headliner, headliner, headline, about, picture, picture, picture. Everything's in there. Nice and simple. But getting creative, you know, like thinking about, if I put this one thing here, what can I do for another one? Think about the music genre. What do they play? What's the instruments? What it can be? I put a horn on one. I put a drum on another. Like, you know, just what you. The world is your oyster with this, and sometimes that's too much, isn't it? And that's why I'm having you have to add 5 things. You know, I'm not just saying draw a picture of a dog. You just draw a picture of a dog. That's easy. It gets harder when you're starting to add elements, and I'm like, let go, freedom. So 5 is some banners and stuff, and 6, these are there for you to look at too. And then 6, guitar, logo, some headliners. Sometimes it's a stretch. Here's the key. You have 1 week to work on this. You have 6 sketches to do. Break it up. 1 or 2 a day. Here's why. Our brains work better and more creatively when we take breaks in the middle of the creative process. you guys all heard, sleep on it, go sleep on it. That's literally true. Your brain, your subconscious figures out the details while you are sleeping. It mulls over the creative process. And then when you wake up and you return to said process, you will return with invigorated and new ideas because subconsciously you were working on this project while you were sleeping. I do this all the time. This is, I kid you not, I'm like the shower person, like I'll be working on something and then I'll get in that neutral area. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, I got it. I got the idea. Like that's going to make that project even better. And, having one just doing something else. I stepped away from the project. I took a break from it. I talked to people. I watched TV. I watched a movie. And then in that movie I was watching, I saw this one thing and it made me think of the music festival poster. I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. I'm going to add that. And I just jot it down. You don't have to run to go do it. You just jot yourself down a note. You never know where your inspiration will come from. It's great. I love being creative. Here's another. I'll quickly go through this. We'll be done in a couple minutes. Again, here we go. The research for the When You Were Young Festival. There's the logo, 3 festival images, the About section, the headliners, the festival dates, and research and thumbs. These are simpler. Look how simple those are. That's all you need. But I'm checking to make sure that you clearly thought about where everything is going on the page. We got a logo. I got headliners. I got the dates. I got the about. We got these rock hands that are rocking out every time. We got, and then down here, pictures, and then some, they got, that's checkboard. That's, the ska sign. And then here they got the logo on its side, stacked on 3 images, headliner. Like I can look at this and I know everything is there. And that's what I'm looking for. Have you thought about where all 5 design elements are going within your piece? That's what those are. Those 5 pieces you're finding are design elements. They are the subject matter of your piece. You go, logo, headliner dates, event picks, just playing around, having some fun. And you will see these progress as you progress. I will see. I'm not going to make the promise, but I will, in some of my other classes, I actually do the designs as well to show you my process. Sometimes if I have a lot to lecture on, I can't because we have to do the other parts of the lecture. So you don't want to hear me talk for another half an hour about how I came up with what I came up with. But we'll see what I do. Maybe I'll start. Maybe I'll start with this. I like it. I can do a festival poster. Kick back. So any other questions about the start of your first major piece? I shouldn't call it that. It's not that major. It's no different than what you've been doing. It's just assembling stuff in a different way. Well, if you don't have any questions now, you know how to get a hold of me. Use that good old message board up there. Send me messages. I'm going to check them. I check them all the time. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And yeah, have some fun. Explore. Use this weekend. Just kind of be like, cool, I'm going to do a music festival poster. Getting into the big leagues right now then. So, all right. Great talking to you. I will talk to you again on Tuesday if we don't talk on the message boards or the discussion boards. And yeah, have some fun with this one. It's going to be cool. All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.